I never thought I'd end up in a situation like this. My wife and I had been together for 10 years. We had a house in the suburbs, a dog, the typical, perfect couple life people around us admired. Friends used to say, "You two are made for each other." I believed that too. Until I realized I was living in a lie. It started with small things. She began taking calls in another room. Her phone was always face down, notifications muted. She wore a new perfume I hadn't bought. She stayed late at meetings, then came home with fresh makeup and a smile that wasn't for me. I told myself it was stress, busy season, client dinners. But deep down, I knew something was off. One night I came home an hour earlier than planned. The kitchen was lit, a cup still warm on the counter. She was in the living room, typing on her laptop, smiling at the screen. Not the half smile I got at dinner. A full, bright smile. The kind she hadn't given me in months. I froze in the doorway. That expression wasn't for me. In that moment, something in me cracked. I didn't confront her. I just walked upstairs and lay awake the whole night, staring at the ceiling. Then came a name. Anthony. He'd joined our company recently. Tall, confident, always talking too loudly. The kind of guy who thrived on attention. I mentioned him at dinner once, joking how he was late again to a meeting. She smiled, almost instinctively, then tried to cover it. It was too quick. Too revealing. That was the spark that lit the fire of suspicion. A few weeks later, she lied. Said she had a late client meeting. Came back dressed differently, smelling of cologne. Not perfume. Call gone. His cologne. I knew it, I'd stood next to him plenty of times. I sat there on the couch pretending to watch TV, but inside I was shaking. That's when I started keeping notes. Dates, times, excuses. I wasn't going to accuse her without proof. The breaking point happened at a bar. After work, I went with colleagues. In the corner, I saw her. With him. Laughing, leaning in, touching his arm. His hand slid to her back like it belonged there. They didn't notice me. My stomach dropped. I walked straight out into the cold and stood outside for half an hour, trying not to throw up. That was it. I had to know for sure. I didn't yell. I didn't break anything. I turned cold. Methodical. I bought hidden cameras. Installed one near the kitchen, one in the living room. I got a second phone. I told her I was flying out for work for 2 days. Instead, I parked down the street with a thermos of coffee, waiting. At 9:15 p.m., Anthony's car pulled up. At 9:30, they walked into my house. At midnight, the lights went out. I sat in my car, watching my phone screen stream the footage, them laughing on my couch, kissing, moving closer. My home. My furniture. My life. And they treated it like theirs. I saved everything. Screenshots. Videos. Hotel bookings. Their texts. Messages like, "After the anniversary, we'll figure it out." Her replies, "I'm scared but I can't stop." His words, "Don't worry, he has no clue." It wasn't a fling. It was a plan. They weren't guilty teenagers sneaking around. They were plotting a new life, while I paid the mortgage. I realized walking away silently wasn't enough. If I left, she'd tell people I overreacted, that it was just a mistake. I needed the truth to be undeniable. The perfect opportunity, our 10-year anniversary party. Family, friends, colleagues, everyone in one room. The stage was set. I booked the venue, catering, slideshow. She thought I was being sweet. She hugged me and whispered, "You're the best husband." Inside, I thought, "You'll see." A week before the party, I approached Jack, Anthony's younger brother. I showed him the evidence. He stared at the phone screen, silent for a long time. Then he said, "If this is real, I won't protect him. He's my brother, but this is too far." That was it. I had backup. The night of the party, the hall looked perfect. Photos of our decade together projected on the wall. Music playing, people laughing. She looked radiant, like the perfect wife. She floated around hugging family, thanking me for planning everything. Anthony walked in late, of course, grinning like a king. He acted like he owned the room. I stayed calm, waiting for the moment. Dessert was served. Glasses clinked. People started to relax. Then Jack stood up. "I need everyone's attention," he said. The room quieted. He began reading messages. "I miss you. After the anniversary, we'll leave." Murmurs filled the room. Emily froze. Anthony's smile vanished. Then I stood. Pulled out my phone. Hit play. His voice filled the speakers, "Everything's ready after the anniversary." Gasps. Silence. Then I laid down hotel confirmations, receipts, and screenshots. No one could deny it. She whispered, "It was a mistake." I cut her off, "A mistake is once. You had a plan." Anthony stammered about private lives, but our boss, sitting at the table, shut him down. "When private lives risk this company's reputation, they stop being private," he said sharply. That was the end of Anthony's career. I told the room, 10 years is not a reason to tolerate lies. This is the last night I will ever be her husband. And I walked out. People stared. Phones were recording. I didn't care. It was over. At home, I packed her things. Folded clothes into a suitcase. Neatly, carefully. I put a flash drive with all the evidence in her coat pocket with a note, "This is why." When she came in, her eyes were swollen. "Michael," she started. "Your things are in the hallway," I said. "That's the only fair way." She didn't argue. The next morning, I filed for divorce. With the proof I had, it was quick. The lawyer said, "This will be simple." He was right. At the office, Anthony's access was revoked. His projects were reassigned. Within days, his office was empty. His wife filed for divorce when she found out. He disappeared from the city soon after. Good riddance. Emily blew up my phone. Calls, texts, emails. Pages of explanations. It wasn't serious. I was confused. "We can fix this." I ignored all of it. Her mother called once, begging me not to ruin her daughter's reputation. I told her, she ruined it herself. And I hung up. Friends split. Some told me I was ruthless. Others said I did the only right thing. Most stayed quiet. People don't like getting involved in ugly truths. But nobody could deny what they saw that night. That was enough for me. I sold the house. Too many memories. Moved into a small downtown apartment. Less space, but more air. The silence was heavy, but it was honest. No lies in the walls. Just me. I started running again. Cooking for one. Reading late at night. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real. Co-workers later admitted Anthony had been chasing other women too. I wasn't the first husband he went after. I was just the one who exposed him. That fact didn't make me feel better, but it made things clearer. It was never about me. It was about who he was, and who she chose to be with him. Months passed. Emily moved in with her sister. Her life unraveled. She lost friends, respect, stability. Anthony was jobless, divorced, gone. They got what they deserved. I didn't need revenge anymore. I just needed peace. And I finally had it. A year later, I met Laura at an art exhibit. She wasn't perfect, and neither was I. We talked about work, movies, dumb jokes. Eventually, I told her everything. She didn't pity me. She didn't say, "I'm sorry." She just listened. That was more than I could have asked for. After years of lies, honesty was everything. I'll never forget that anniversary night. The way people gasped, the silence that followed, the look on her face when she realized it was over. It wasn't about humiliating her. It was about showing the truth. 10 years of marriage gone, but finally, I wasn't living in a lie. And that's worth more than pretending everything is fine.